Sick. You wanna throw us in?
Sure.
Go for it.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another edition of Dual. I'm Trey Brooks.
I'm Sippy Sim Pants, also
Awesome.
known as
Cool.
Jordan D.
I
Alexandre.
love that. And yeah, welcome. So
Yeah. Welcome to
another edition of
I think this
us
is
trying to figure shit out.
essentially
basically.
yeah, checking in, trying to
Checking
figure shit
in,
out.
yeah, very much so. Yeah.
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 You know.
Mhm.
So, do you want to start with the grand question? First of all, I want to know about something about you.
Okay.
Did you ever hit up that girl that we met at the bar?
Hit up that girl that we met at the bar.
The one who went to our school? Did you guys ever continue that conversation?
No.
Is what I'm more to ask.
No.
No.
It was mostly just like hey, next time you're there, like let me know.
Okay.
We can hang out and stuff.
Or
And
okay.
She was just like, oh yeah, cool. And then it just stopped after that, which I'm cool with. I didn't want to.
Yeah, it's
It's
more
a
like
it's a
next step.
weird it's a weird. I mean, this is also something we could talk about
Go for it.
as far as like dating,
Yeah, sure.
like update on my dating. And
Yeah.
well, before we get into that, first, Jordan, how are you?
I'm tired.
Yeah,
I'm tired.
I'm tired too, man.
No, I'm tired, but it's more like this is like a morning tired because like I
Mhm.
got up at like 10, drank some coffee, talked to Angelica for a little bit, and then drove home. During my ride home, I did a therapy session essentially with my actual therapist, and like it was all right. And then I kind of am like a little bit stressed.
Yeah.
Man, this must be a scene. It always is a scene. I've been stressed about finding work because I'm realizing that the job
Yeah.
that I have currently is not enough
It's not enough.
to pay the bills.
Mm.
And my health insurance is coming up, or it's lapsing in December, and I need to find a job that has
Right.
health insurance because I am disabled in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
You know, or have a disability,
Mhm.
which means disabled. But yeah, so that's like the biggest stressors on my plate at this point
Sure,
in time. Like
yeah.
just finding a job that I don't want to like, not off myself, but like, jump off a very high building,
Mm-hmm.
hopefully into some water. But yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at. Otherwise, I'm cooling.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm cooling. Taking my shoes off.
There you go.
Fucking hanging out. The artistic career is going well.
Mhm.
I'm gonna apply to some colleges.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna see
What
if I
colleges
get
are you
in.
looking at?
Pratt. I had a dream. I did tell you about we talked about dreams, but
Yeah.
I had a dream about going to Pratt or something along the lines of Pratt.
Yeah, I think you
and
told me. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd be a good thing
Sure.
if I could get housing or at least subsidized housing through the college. That's
Yeah.
essentially living in New York for like however the fuck many years.
Mm-hmm.
Just have to pay for it. But there's things on the list.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of knocking them off at this point in time. And it kind of got me, not to go on a tangent, but it kind of got me into like this existential thing where it's like, man, is existence really just like a series of lists and tasks,
Mm-hmm.
and just knocking them off? But it
Mm.
very much isn't. There's light spots in between.
Yeah.
But I don't know what you got. How are you doing, sir?
I'm all right. I'm
Yeah.
so. I think I was mentioning earlier.
Yeah,
Where I'm just
what's
like
up?
I'm not sad, but I'm also just like not like cheery and happy and stuff like that. So I'm just like I'm very much just like baseline.
Mm.
Yeah,
Baseline NBC.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Where and I think it's probably just I'm getting resettled back into like routines and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
because you came
Because I
back
came back, yeah,
a week
after-
ago.
Yeah, well, a little less than a week
Little
ago.
less
So
than a
I'm
week
just
ago.
like kind of getting settled back in a bit. So
Mm.
things have been mostly normal
Mhm.
on my end. Yeah.
Mm.
So I think it's just like a lot of it's just the season's changing.
That's true, man.
So-
It's changing severely.
Yeah.
Like it was a hot flash, and then just like all of a
Yeah.
sudden it's like cool now.
Yeah,
You can wear a
summer is very
hoodie.
much like coming to an end soon.
I definitely
so,
believe it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's just like kind of, which is nice because like I do enjoy this part of the year, this time of the year.
It's good. This
Yeah.
is one of my favorite seasons. I think
Yeah.
spring is my favorite strictly because it comes after winter,
Mm-hmm.
and then fall is definitely my next, and then
Yeah.
probably summer, and then winter is just in the pits of hell.
Yeah.
Hate winter. I know that
Mm.
you love winter, but yeah.
I won't say I love winter. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I always tell people I don't mind it. I do get to a point where I'm just probably halfway through where I get really sick of it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. And mostly just because, like, it's mostly the beginning of winter or the beginning of the season that I don't enjoy just because it's like the holidays and like everything's just always a big rush.
Yeah, seriously.
And everyone
yeah,
just
holiday
kinda,
season is starting, man.
yeah, and everyone
Yeah.
very much gets into like the big craze, and I'm just like I don't have the energy for that anymore.
Completely feel you.
Yeah, so
Completely feel
I
you.
just kind of ignore a lot of that.
Yeah.
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 Except for Halloween. Halloween, I will always stand.
I
no
definitely
matter
believe
what.
that. Yeah. Every
So,
other holiday for me, it's Halloween and Thanksgiving.
yeah,
More Thanksgiving. But
yeah.
yeah.
For me, it's more Halloween. I'm
I
just
can
like,
definitely vibe with that.
I'm just like, fuck yes.
Yeah, I get to dress up.
I get to become my true self.
Exactly. I get to look like the Grim Reaper again.
Yes.
Sick.
So yeah, but I always look forward to this time of year. So
Yeah.
it's like a nice kind of restart, or kind of a nice winding down,
Mm.
but still plenty of stuff to like kind of get done
I definitely
and
feel
coming
that.
up.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I have a few things that are coming up
I was gonna ask,
career
yeah.
wise,
Yeah,
which
what
are
you
pretty
got?
good. The gallerist that
Yeah.
I've been talking to, she reached out and she was letting me know when I can come down and drop off work. She's in between like kind of taking down one show and setting up the next.
Yeah.
But she said she'll let me know like when I can come down, drop off my work.
Awesome.
So that's like the big one.
Mm.
Actually, no, all three are the big ones, because this one, the one in Westport, that's gonna be the first time showing in a commercial gallery, which is pretty insane.
Man. It's gonna be dope.
And then the next one in December, it's gonna be the first time showing in like New York,
Yeah, word.
like upstate New York, but
that's
New York
still-
regardless.
That's still New York, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my next solo show in February.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And you have some work up in Workspace right now, right?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's funny. I low key kind of forgot, even though I'm there like every day.
I was like, dude, like I saw it on your story.
Yeah, it's there. It's there
Yeah.
till the end of this month, like the 22nd. So yeah, if you guys want to see my work, it's over at Workspace,
Yeah.
Manchester, in Main Street. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean, a lot of good
prospects.
stuff are coming through. I
Yeah.
think it's just my body is trying to get reacclimated to like, like the changing season and just getting back into work mode. Trying to get back into like a routine, especially when it comes to working out, because I've been horribly inconsistent
I haven't even started.
with it.
Haven't even started.
It's tough, man.
I'm sure.
And it for me, it's worse because I used to be like a really heavy gym rat, whereas like I would just work out every day and just like always physically active. And then obviously as you get older, your priorities change, and like you start to become more career focused, relationship focused, or friend, whatever it is. And then certain things start to take a backseat.
Yep.
And unfortunately for me, the one thing that took a backseat was like my workout routine, which I'm kind of, honestly, I'm really upset about that, and I've been trying desperately to like just be more consistent.
Yeah, dude.
It's been tough. Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Consistency is always the key to success.
Yeah.
Whether it be art, creative ventures, or
Yeah.
routine. It's consistency.
And it's like that's the thing. It's like I've been really consistent with the art stuff, but it's just like other things in my life have kind of fallen to the wayside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. The one thing that my dad, it's kind of a trigger for me at this point in time, but the one thing that my dad always said to me was like, you have to adjust your priorities. And
Yeah.
even still to this day, the lessons are still sinking in.
Mm-hmm.
And I find it kind of crazy how like when you're a kid or younger, you're like, oh, fuck you and all this shit. I'm gonna do me. And then after like you gain some knowledge and fucking live a little bit longer, you're just like, damn, all right, you were correct, and you were actually kind of looking out for me.
Fuck, you're actually kind of right.
Yeah,
God
exactly.
damn
You're
it.
actually kinda
Yeah.
right. And you're like, fuck.
Yeah. Sometimes
another-
life will do that to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing is
Mm.
and this is a weird tangent. Maybe it goes somewhere,
What's
and maybe we loop it back.
Yeah. What's up? What you got?
The idea that we become our parents, not that we become our parents, but that we have flavors
Oh,
of our
dude.
parents in it.
That's
I'm noticing
kind
it.
of a trigger for me.
I'm
honestly.
noticing
Yeah.
it. It's weird.
That's
Like,
kind of a trigger for me. I'm not gonna
with
lie.
my mom
but
and with my dad. I'm noticing certain, like, not tics, but like certain mannerisms.
can you elaborate?
Yeah, like I'll be out with Angelica, or I'll
Uh-huh.
be out in public or something like that, and I'll be talking to a person, and all of a sudden I just see like my father's mannerisms kind of come out.
Mm.
And like I think it's more mannerisms with my father, and then vocal mannerisms with my mom.
Yeah.
And I find it just so interesting because I'm like, damn, do we really become our parents? And then it got me thinking, this is going to be a really deep dive, really tangential. It got me thinking, like, what was the thought? It got me thinking, like, we are like, the family tree is a good example. You know, there's a tree right over there. We start, we're like a tip, and it all goes back down to the root.
Yep.
Or the main branch. And how, like, every person, we're going to get existential.
just keep going.
I got you.
Yeah.
Every person came from one starting source. And I find that very interesting. And how we're all connected. And technically, when you have sex with a person, you're having sex with a distant cousin or some shit like that. But that was more for a joke. That was more for a joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's kind of crazy.
Is that Sweet Home Alabama playing in the background?
Exactly. Sweet Home Alabama playing. It's kind of crazy to me to think, like, damn, we really are all fucking connected in this hot trash shit. And how, like, I saw this TikTok where it was like you have two parents and then 4 sets of grandparents, and then it extrapolates from there.
Yep.
You know, so like I think it would be like 4 times 4 is 16 sets of great grandparents, and then it just keeps going.
Yeah, it just goes up.
And then
multiplies. Yeah.
Yeah, multiplies. And then the whole idea that it was a good thought. Hold on. The whole idea that 4 sets of grandparents. The whole idea that you coming into existence is like one of the strangest, most rare things ever. Because
absolutely,
yeah, for us to have consciousness, for us to have conscious life and be able to, you know, do fucking this shit.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then to extrapolate that even further of the fact that, like, we're just on a floating rock. And I don't know, things I've been thinking about recently. Like,
sure.
There's on a floating rock in space, and you know, we drive cars because cars are a word and a thing. And
yeah.
Fucking.
It's kind of funny you bring that up because
go for it.
Earlier this morning,
yeah,
I was on. I don't really use Reddit that much, but sometimes if I'm bored, like I'll just kind of surf a little bit. And I was on the Damn That's Interesting subreddit.
Word.
And there was one post where it was like images, because I was looking at space images. Yeah. Where it was like one of the Jupiter's moons floating around, orbiting around Jupiter. Yeah, obviously. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And I scrolled down a bit, and there was like images of, one of the posts was like images of Venus captured from like 1982 when the Soviets launched a few probes out there, and before they like basically got destroyed because the surface of Venus is fucking insane.
Yeah, apparently.
Where they only like lived for like a few minutes. Yeah. And so basically, well, I mean, the original images were like kind of,
I'm sure, like blurry and shit.
Not blurry, but just like kind of black and white and like not really. So then I think they just recently, I don't know how recent, but like they recently like updated like the images, like kind of, you know, pumped up the saturation, just like have like more of a, about as close as you can get
to how it actually
looks. To how it may look like.
Yeah.
And it was very surreal.
How so?
It was very much just like picture blue sky.
Yeah.
Like land, blue sky, but instead of blue, it's just yellow.
It's a crazy thing.
It's the most it's the most stereotypical alien thing that you can think of when you think of space or like another planet. And it took me aback a little bit because I'm just like, damn, that's really fucking.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about it. It was just like, and then it made me think of like, because I also, you know, you also look at images of like Mars. Yeah. From like the what you call it from
the
that.
Mars rover. Yeah.
But what's weird to me, and I don't know, maybe I don't know if other people like have the same thought, but it's like, as alien as it may look, or as foreign as it may look, it doesn't really seem all that alien. It didn't seem all that alien to me.
No.
Where I was just like, I'm looking at these, and I'm just like, I can kind of see this being here. Which,
as in
like Earth.
Oh, word.
Like terrestrial,
Earth.
Terrestrial existence or whatever the fuck. I get the same feeling whenever I look at Mars, where I'm just like, I can very much see this being like on the other side of Earth. That I don't discredit, I very much believe that those images are from there, or from Mars, or from Venus.
You're not saying like they're like photoshopped.
But it's just something. No.
Yeah.
But it's just something about it. Something about them. It just feels like home.
I can feel that.
I don't know. It's like it kind of
familiar.
Goes back to like the existential thing, where it's just like, in a weird cosmic sense, we're kind of meant to be here because it feels weirdly familiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna go in a different direction, where you were like.
I thought so too, but then I thought about it. I'm just like, that's genuinely how I feel.
Word. No, because when I think of that, I think of like of all the places, destinations, and just cosmic shit that we could have been in. We're here on Earth where it's livable, and we complain when it's like 2 degrees. It's like humid outside.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're breathing air and like fucking all this shit.
Meanwhile, on Venus, it's like the atmosphere is like sulfuric.
Yeah, exactly.
And
So
it's like 400 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yep. So
where
you
it's
go
like
there,
you
you
would
fucking
just
evaporate.
you would just get Thanos snapped out of existence if you were to go down there.
You know, and it's kind of crazy because like, dude, I guess this is more of an existential episode.
Maybe, I don't know.
At least for this part.
I mean, for the part, we can always bring it back to
Of
something
course,
else
of
because
course.
there's other stuff I wanted to talk about. But yeah,
of course.
and I also want to get back to like the parent thing.
We can. Okay. So
Yeah, but continue what
yeah.
you're about to say.
So the whole thought is like, ooh, let me see if I can swing it into a parent section.
Try.
Okay, I got
Go
you.
for it. Yeah.
You know, how we were in a way, shape, and form destined to be here, in a certain way, and having the notion of nothing exists or not nothing exists, that life doesn't matter or that nothing matters and stuff like that. In my mind, is a little bit arbitrary. I feel as though you have to exist for some reason, whether it be a big cog in the machine or a small one. And, you know, the fact that we as humans are able to reproduce and how 1 + 1 = 3, not just 2. Does that kind of make sense? Parent plus parent usually equals child, or you need like, you know what I'm saying, but like 1 + 1 = 3? Okay, so mom, dad, baby. That's 3 people from 2 people, from 1 and 1. Anyway,
Yeah.
some people will get that one, I guess. And then the idea of lineage, how everything came from something, whether it be a tree, this Poochie, this man's, and myself. Everything came from something, and I definitely do believe that everything has to happen for a reason. And that the idea that we keep on reproducing and we keep on pushing on forward, whether it be a good thing or a bad thing, that we keep on reproducing and keep on pushing life on forward, that we're all moving in some direction has to mean something.
Yeah.
And there always is a point of reflection of looking back on where we once were and where we are now and where we're going. So with that, I kind of sling it to you for parents.
Yeah.
Or if you want to have any closing thoughts on that statement.
Yeah, definitely. There was a thought, and I in response to that, I lost it.
Do you want me to restate my thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it. Yeah.
So essentially, how whether you are large or small, and I think of life as this grand machine that has a whole bunch of moving parts, and even the smallest screw still has a part to play because it keeps everything in order, or not in line, in order. It keeps everything moving and shaking. And how people sometimes will say that nothing matters, and I think that the semicolon, what's the fucking thing? Semicolon, comma. It's not a comma. It's the semicolon. The continuing statement to that is nothing matters, so you have every single
semicolon.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The nothing matters, so you have every right to then make anything matter.
Yeah, like I feel some type of way when people say that nothing matters.
So do whatever you want. It's like, yes, do whatever you want.
Yeah,
but like don't kill people unless you are
right. Yeah, where it's like I can kind of get that. I mean, it boils down to whether you believe in like a cosmic or like a
grander force
or like a god or something like
beyond
that,
anything,
or just that there's like a heaven or hell at the end of this.
Yeah.
Which I mean, yeah, but I mean for me, it's like I feel like the whole like what is it? It's not hedonism. It's
I have no idea.
Nihilism.
Yes, nihilism.
Nihilism, where it's just like like nothing matters, blah, you know, who cares, blah blah. And it's like I mean, I guess we all been through that phase, especially like if we were teens, where it's just like I know for me, I definitely went through that where because I grew up Catholic and I went to Catholic school, and I think when I transitioned to high school, and this was like some time after my grandma died, who had a major impact on my life.
I'm sure.
It was like right around this time where I started to really question like the whole religion and God thing
Sure.
to the point where for a little while I was like hardcore, like I'm an atheist.
Gotcha.
And I don't really hold that stance anymore. And now that I'm an adult and like I've kind of like
Sussed out some
lived
stuff.
life, lived a little bit of life and like experienced things, and it's just like, and I'm sure people will probably disagree with what I'm going to say, where I feel like atheism, not that it's not valid, it's just a lot, 9 times out of 10 for me, a lot of it just seems like this really hard push against like an establishment or established
Essentially.
belief. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it very much comes from this place of anger.
And
As
like resentment.
Anger, resentment,
Yeah.
as opposed to like there's like scientific evidence or whatever evidence that proves that like it just isn't feasible that there is a God or there's after blah blah blah. And like I said, not to invalidate, because that is a belief, and not to invalidate it by any means, but I know from my experience, like it very much was like a resentment thing that kind of breeds that mentality. And most of and a good vast majority of like atheists that I talked to or I used to associate with, it was very much that vibe.
Yeah.
And yeah, like as I got old, like even then I was just like something about it just didn't feel right. Where I'm just like I was like, I can kind of see where you're coming from, because I don't even think I believe in that, but like this just seems way too hardcore for me.
Yeah.
It was like the other. It was literally like the other side of the coin when it comes to like people who are like devout.
Yeah. Exactly.
Religious people.
That's
it's just like
very valid,
it very much felt like the flip side to it. And then naturally it kind of took me to like where I'm at now, where it's like somewhere in the middle, where I'm just like, it's possible, but I wouldn't hitch my bets on it. I won't know until fucking I die. Yeah.
Until you pass.
So I'm very much like agnostic, or at least I think I'm like very light agnostic. But I still hold this belief that there is something greater, and there's definitely things that I can't explain.
Yep.
And things that happened in my life that I can't explain just through logical means.
Yeah.
And I very much believe in like the spirit and like energy as being like a driving force for a lot of things, and just aura and all that. So so I mean, that's, I guess, to kind of circle it back to parents.
You can kind of say like what you were taught.
Yeah,
and then how you kind of come into your own.
Yeah, because I know my
future,
mom was like
present.
very much like concerned when I was just like, I'm not like, or I don't want to blah blah blah. But then it's funny, now that I'm getting older, it's like there's certain beliefs that I still kind of hang on to.
Yeah, sure.
Or things that still kind of like that my mom does that I've kind of carried on as far as like belief and whatnot. And then certain things that I noticed that for my grandma, because I was raised by her as well, that I kind of took on a little bit of her mannerisms too. So I definitely believe.
Wow, we're circling all the way back.
Believe what you say when you said that you very much take on your parents as you get older, whether for bad or for worse. It kind of, which I mean, that makes sense, because like that's your foundation.
It is.
It's your family is very much like the precursor to how you experience like life as you move.
That's a statement. That's a good one. Yeah.
Well, it's true though, because like when you're born, who do you spend the most time with?
Your family.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're basically a blank slate.
Yeah. And a lot of it, and that's another thing too, where it's just like a lot of it forms your identity as well as you get older.
It very much does.
I think I was watching this video. There's like a philosophy video where it's like people our age who kind of go through life and have like the identity crisis.
Who am I?
Where it's like it's oftentimes it's categorized into these 4
categories.
Yeah, 4 categories. And I'm gonna butcher the 2 because I can't remember, but I know one. It's like when it comes to identity formulation, it's like you either effectively become your parents, where you very much hold on to the same beliefs that they do, and just kind of like they very much like pass the torch on to you, kind of thing. When it comes to like whether it's beliefs, jobs, careers, blah blah blah, manners, whatever. And then there's also the opposite where it's just like
reject it.
you completely reject it. You kind of just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like a fucking hippie dude, like
or whatever.
Very much like
the
like
opposite of what your parents.
Very much like if your parents are conservative and you, which I mean, a lot of our parents are to an extent, even parents that are liberal.
I would say of this generation, yes.
Yeah. And then obviously like you have the liberal hippie kid, and just just butt heads basically with your parents.
Yep.
I mean that's pretty typical as well. So then, and then the other two categories I forgot, but effectively what it was is you kind of have a healthy mixture of some of the things that you've been from your parents that you latch on to as part of your identity, then also just have going out into the world and formulating your own ideals and stuff like that. So it's very much like you reach a certain point where you're still exploring and you're not so bogged down by things that you've been taught as a child.
The tree, to go back to the tree, tree kind of grows out from the ground and starts kind of growing in different directions.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I like what you said about the whole. This episode might be about a lot of stuff, but I definitely do like the like what you said about the whole, because I was atheist for a time.
Yeah.
And then I changed to agnostic, and now I would consider myself spiritual.
I very much consider myself spiritual as well. Yeah.
I don't necessarily believe that it's a Christian God or a Buddhist God or whatever God.
Just something.
There has to be.
Yeah.
We are so weird to not be from something grander, whether it's a higher dimension or we're in a simulation and then blah 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 or fucking whatever it is.
Yeah.
There has to be something outside of us. I was watching the show called Devs, which is a really good show.
Yep.
And it's like the box that contains everything is just contained by a box. And then that box that contains everything is just contained by a box. And it extrapolates in both directions infinitely, So it's like, even if we hop out of this, we'll call it third dimension, this three-dimensional world, we'll hop, maybe if we die or when we pass or do whatever, do a fuck ton of psychedelics or whatever you do, hop into a fourth. And then if there is time in that dimension or whatever, if we pass in that dimension, hop into a fifth. Like, and maybe it just kind of loops back to the first, and then we just it's just one cycle, one big continuous loop cycle. Anything is possible. It's kind of up to your, your beliefs and your determination of how you personally view reality.
Yeah.
And I kind of like the idea of like, the individual versus the tribe, the group, the family, all that kind of stuff. Because I feel like if you were to put it in a time scale, your parents are the past, your lineage will be the future, and you currently are the present.
Yeah,
you're present.
Well, I always like the idea that we live in, because time's not linear. So I like the idea that like we live in all three at the same time.
We do. We very much do.
We live in the past, we live in the present, and then we're also simultaneously living in the future.
We are.
So
that's where everything kind of comes into play and everything kind of comes together.
Yeah.
It's a crazy fact that time is a plate of spaghetti. It's you're feeling things at different points in time, and by that I mean like that's when like sensory stuff comes in. Like I have this all the time, where it's like I can feel things, or like I'll draw something and it'll kind of come true, or I can see how the past self can predict the moment in the future.
Yeah.
And you can even do that on a day-to-day where like, what you going to do later today? Well, I'm probably going to drive down to Makerspace or some shit like that. And then you do it. And that's kind of you predicting your future.
Right.
So, and then past is past. But I just find it kind of crazy that, to circle it back to family, that we all do come from some place, whether it be, the single nucleus or the birth of the Big Bang or whatever, to fucking wherever we do go.
Yeah.
And maybe this one is about like traveling or something like that, but not traveling as in like space, but more traveling within yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I over the course of my tenure as a 25-year-old person, or my time as a 25-year-old person, I've traveled a lot, been through a lot of trauma, and a lot of it was self-imposed, which then breeds self-reflection. Not that trauma doesn't, but it breeds a lot of self-reflection. And I was talking with Angelica about this earlier this morning, about how, if I could go back, there was a point in time where I wanted to go back to my to North Carolina, and I wanted to, like, I made a wish to, you know, when I die, to restart the cycle and to be reincarnated back into one point where I could fix everything and kind of see where it all goes. And that was my hope and dream for a while while I was going through some very traumatic stuff in the past. And it turns out that I'm actually happy and content where I am now, you know, and I wouldn't want that. I don't want to know that future because I wouldn't meet people like you or Joe or Morgan or Angelica, or I wouldn't be the Jordan who I am now.
Well, that's what true closure actually means, is that knowing that you can't, even if you have the ability to change your past, you just ultimately can't.
Cannot.
If you somehow had the ability to change it, you just can't.
No, I told.
So I think that's where true closure comes in, where it's just like being okay with, like,
where the past
okay,
stands.
that happened. Yeah. There's nothing I could do to change it, and if I could, it's like, would I even really want to?
Yeah, it's the most beautiful and painful thing about the term past, is it is past.
Yeah.
You can't do anything about it.
Can't do anything about it, yeah.
But you also can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't change it, so
right.
It's moving forward, being present. Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's also very painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are certain things I wish I could take back, certain things I wish I could not do, certain decisions I wish I didn't make.
Yeah.
You know?
It's definitely just life. It's just like, yeah, you take that with you.
Yeah.
For better and for worse. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, most you can do is just be like, yeah, that happened. It sucked. But hopefully I became a better person. Exactly. I learned something from it, and, you know, promise to just do better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's a promise to yourself.
Yeah.
And a really important thing that I learned is just having faith and believing, not necessarily in a higher power or anything like that, but having more faith in yourself that you are on a path.
Yeah.
And that every single step that you take, whether it is left or right, is meant for you to take.
Right.
And it's fucking hilarious how this happens, but my mom gave me a book at 18 years old called The Alchemist, which I didn't actually read in high school. Most people read in high school. Hated it, apparently. But she gave it to me on my 18th birthday. I read it at 19 after I just got hospitalized for the first time, and it changed the course of my entire life. There's a quote that I'm going to butcher, which is, you know, everything happens and is written with the same hand. Mm-hmm. You and we'll call it God's hand.
Yeah.
Are the same. You know, you are writing your past, present, and future currently, and God equally is writing your past, present, and future currently. Me deciding to do this, whether it be, you know, free will or whatever, it's actually a paradox. It's both. Mm-hmm. In my opinion, in my beliefs.
I think it's definitely both.
Yeah.
Well, I think nothing. I don't think anything is I don't know. I look at fate and free will as, like, again, just like kind of two sides of the same coin.
Yeah, two koi fish, like the fucking Avatar shit. Yeah,
two koi fish, yin and yang,
exactly.
Where it's just like one can't exist without the other.
Yeah, totally.
It can, but it's off balance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to have not the illusion of free will, but you need to have free will, so you can have free will, and then you need to have well, you kind of get it.
Yeah.
You said it better. You need to have both.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think that, you know, where the true mystery of this reality or the true mystery of life lies is within, in my opinion, paradoxes, like, you know, like such as that one.
Yeah.
You know, where you can't you can't you can't figure it out, so you kind of just have to kind of live with it.
Yeah.
And that's where the grander mystery, that's what I'm more trying to say. That's where the grander mystery comes in. That's where you leave it to a higher power. You leave it to your higher self, or you just leave it in the air, you know, in my opinion.
Yeah, you just give it to the universe and
That's a better way to say it.
Do its thing. Yeah.
Seriously. Like, even if you just believe in, like, the universe, you know, it's just the universe.
Pretty much me. Yeah, it's
seriously.
just universe doing its thing.
Universe doing its thing, and I am vibing with it. The whole idea, another one is that I just remembered, was like the one and the two into one, which is the whole idea that we are the same, you know, molecularly, scientifically, but like we are the same being and everything is the same.
Yeah.
But we can see it as separate.
Right.
You know? And I always find it, like one of the bigger mysteries to me of this entire grand existence is like, why do the molecules of my hand and grander body choose to stay together compared to just kind of like dissipate into nothing, or kind of, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, why does this choose to be separate from her, from you, from all this? I don't know. Things to ponder.
Yeah.
You know, that's some old man shit. That's some old man fishing on the dock.
Yeah.
Talking to the. That's my vision for myself.
Yeah.
Getting enough money to have a lake house somewhere, and waking up every morning before the sun rises, walking down to the dock with a fishing pole, expecting to catch nothing, and just speaking to the sky with a fisherman's hat, like just, and being content with that.
Yeah.
Because right now I feel like my life is like very racy, very like.
I think that's all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
For the time
be
being.
just,
Yeah.
You know, and just chill.
Yeah.
That's retirement for me.
Mm.
Yeah. You know, maybe do some painting on the side.
Sure.
But yeah.
Well, that never stops. That never
It
goes
really,
away.
I doubt it will, but
It
like
won't.
to
Brian and I were talking about that. It's like the
Yeah.
only real retirement that artists get is that we just hope that we'll be quoted somewhere in like a history book
essentially
after we die, basically.
die,
So
yeah.
that's retirement is death.
Yep,
For
retirement is
us.
death.
Yeah, and then
Retirement is
just
death.
being referenced by hopefully other artists and like other like scholars and historians.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is it for an artist retirement.
But we don't get to enjoy it.
No, not at all.
Which is fine. I'm pretty content with that.
I fuck with that vision.
Yeah.
I fuck with that vision. The only retirement for an artist is truly death. Yeah. You know. Ah, damn, that's a good one. Thinking about that for a second.
I have.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure. You know, because to kind of pull it into that tangent, like, I don't think there will ever be a time where I don't feel the need to create. I just don't want to be so stressed about having to create.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, you want to talk about other stuff? We got dumb existential in this one.
Yeah, no.
Dumb existential.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was other things I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
You mentioned something earlier, and I don't think we'll be able to remember.
What's up? What was it about?
I can't remember if you mentioned something. I don't know if it was like during the recording or if it was before where we talked about just like dating.
Dating, yeah. That was what we started with.
How did that go? I can't remember.
It was essentially you saying, let me see if I can pull it out of my
Out of your ass.
Out of my ass, essentially, yeah. It was you talking about just how dating has been going for you, you know?
Yeah, I did want to talk about it. I just don't
Yeah.
remember in what.
In what aspect?
What aspect? Yeah.
Well, I was talking about the girl that you met at the bar.
Oh, that's what it
Yeah.
was. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I just left it at that where
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't. Okay, thank you. Because
Yeah,
I remember
no
what I was going to talk
problem.
about. Just like not knowing how. I don't know. It's low key. It's been kind of rough
Tell me.
dating wise.
Tell me.
Just because like. And I was talking to, and Brian and I had like a pretty lengthy conversation Friday about it, and he said something that rang true, where it was just like, where one, he was just like, you shouldn't beat yourself up too much, which I already knew that,
Yeah.
and I've been well aware of that,
Mm-hmm.
but I think the biggest thing he was talking about is because I think the biggest hurdle for me is just that. To be honest, I've been severely burned out by just dating right now to the point where like I'm kind of just taking a break, and I'm just kind of just let it coast for a bit, cause like it's just one of those things where it's like, you know, you get matches and stuff like that, and it's like you start talking to people and stuff, and then when it gets to let's meet up.
Nothing.
Well, it's tricky, and it's like and he was basically talking about, yeah, I can very much imagine because Brian's older, he's in his 40s, and you know, he was talking about how I'm sure for you guys it's like way worse now because with like with tech, you know, social media and stuff like that with the phones, and also just like being isolated from people for like a solid year and a half due to the pandemic and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a rough hit.
That was a rough hit.
That's a rough hit.
So it's just like, so he was basically just like, yeah, no. So I could totally get like why it's been tough. It's tough for you guys to like actually want to, and also just because like it really feels like everyone has been like super jaded about Jade. Okay, sorry, yeah. Dog's name is Jade. Yeah. But sorry to pull it back. It just the energy or the vibe is very much just everyone is like just
exhausted,
super, not even just exhausted. Well, that's part of it.
Yeah.
But just super jaded when it comes to dating, where it's just like it very much feels like this arduous task that nobody wants to be a part of.
Yeah.
And I hate that because like dating should be like a fun, like you should want to go out and meet new people, and you know, unfortunately dogs dragging ass. Well, dogs dragging ass. Yeah. And like I do feel for people, especially women who you know go on dates and like they meet like really sucky guys.
Yep.
Or just like
the fuck boys.
You know, whether it's the fuck boys or it's just really creepy guys.
Equally.
Stuff like that, and it's like I feel for y'all on that. Like I'll just say right now, as a guy, I can't imagine the level of just stress and anxiety of having to go through that. and you know, and at the same time, I think dating shouldn't just be this like this like, oh, here we go again type of thing.
No, it should be a fun experience.
Yeah, and you know, I've had my fair share of just like,
oh, here we go again.
Yeah, here we go again, and just like not great dates and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm just like, yeah, it kind of comes with the turf.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just I was thinking about this heavy yesterday too, where I was talking, because like I matched with someone and we were kind of texting back and forth, and eventually we talked. Kind of thing, and then I just felt myself as I was speaking to this person, just like kind of like very base level, trying to like get to know this person, and just feeling myself just energy, just like
losing interest.
Yeah, not even just losing interest, but just like the
sucking of
and that's why I'm just like, yeah, maybe this person's not, because like I just kind of felt it, and then. It was also just like
that's some blood.
Yeah, I'm bleeding a little bit. It's fine.
That's okay.
But yeah, and it's just one of those things where I'm just like, God, do I have to go through this every fucking time? Where it's just like match with somebody, talk for a little bit, and then it's a 50-50 shot of whether we speak or hang out, and then from there having, you know, figuring out, oh, is this person cool or not, to where it's like we can continue this potential thing, or do you just leave it to the wayside? And it's really exhausting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah,
I remember.
It's super exhausting.
Yeah.
And yeah, so right now I'm at a point where I kind of just like I said, I'm just taking a break from it.
Sure.
Because I also noticed too where it was like really high key, like kind of affecting my self-esteem a little bit.
How so?
Just like thinking that there's something wrong with me because like I'm not where it's just like I'm not getting but like not meeting with people or not like being as engaged with certain people, and on the flip side of that having to go through literally the same process every single time. Every time I match with somebody, every time I have to like scroll through, and it's just it takes a lot out of you.
Seems like I remember the days, man.
Yeah,
I remember the days. Even though I was just mostly going for like just general hookups and stuff like that, wasn't really going for dating.
Yeah,
I do remember the times.
And I think part of it is because like, even though I'm trying to keep it casual, but just in my mind, I'm still very much just like, oh, potential. You know, maybe this person's a potential person, blah blah. And it's like, I'm trying to work my mindset out of that and just keeping it just as casual as you can make it, just me and people. But it's hard for some reason. It's hard for my brain to kind of unhook those wires and just like, because even Brian was just like, I think the best thing for you to do is just kind of date casually. Yeah, just like date casually, you know, make it a point every month to just like go out and like meet people and just like strike conversations. And it's just like, yeah, that's good. And like I definitely agree with him to that. But part of me also feels like I would be a little disingenuous or dishonest if I were just like, hey, I want something casual, but that's in reality that's not what I want. Not deep down, that's not what I want.
What do you want?
Companionship.
Feel that?
Yeah. And I know, and that's a hard sell for a lot of people. I noticed.
Not everybody, homie.
I know it's not everybody, but it's just like I think just the general like
populace of people. Our age.
Yeah, just like the general people that you either meet or just people just within the general facility.
Mm-hmm.
It just that's not where people's hearts are at right now, and like that's fine. Like I can vibe with that. Like if that's not what you want, that's not what you want.
Yeah.
I just know for me, it's just hard to just keep things casual because I think I'm a very intense person when it comes to like, especially like even like in terms of like friendships. Like I take our friendship very seriously.
Same here.
And I take a lot of my other friendships very seriously.
I'm sure.
Because I have to be all in.
Yeah.
Basically.
Seems like what you need is like a not that you don't, but like some self.
What the crow said?
Yeah, what the crow said.
Yeah.
What did the crow say?
What did he say?
Said like 10 minutes. But
okay.
Look at that. Hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, what were we saying?
I was saying like take some time to do some deep self-reflection.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why I'm just going to take a break.
Yeah.
Where I made the conscious decision. I didn't delete the apps or anything like that. I didn't delete Hinge, but I'm just like I just like turned off I just logged out, turned off notifications and stuff like that where I'm just like I'm just going to leave this alone for like a month. And then just come back to it hopefully less jaded or less like because I started to notice like I was starting to become that and I'm just like no I can't
you can't do that to a person.
Can't do that to a person, can't do that to myself
equally
better. And you know I don't want to I don't want to be that person where it's just like oh dating's blah blah blah. It's like no dating is awesome.
It is.
It's just that
get to know
unfortunately you know
the climate at which
climate where things are at right now is not the best. Yeah.
I got lucky. But yeah.
You got very lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, because homie, like with my relationship, I didn't think I was going to be dating this person. Turned out to be dating this person, and now I'm enjoying the relationship. You know, a lot, and she's fantastic and all this shit. But I didn't expect it. You know.
Yeah.
There was a thought that came to my mind where I was like, well, you may be feeling this way, but what if the universe was fucking potentially blessing you with a person that was literally sitting 2 feet away from you for the majority of the night.
Yeah.
And maybe there's a fuck ton of birds. Sorry. Maybe you should pursue one more before you fully kind of tip your hat on that one. And not necessarily like
was that for you? Or?
No.
Or you're telling me right now?
Yeah, for you. I would say like hang out with chick. And you can keep it casual. I know that you like would like well, a few things are in order here, but like, make your intentions known from jump.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm so and so, I'm pretty much the sexuality, this, that, and the other thing. Like, just throw it all out there, and that one takes a lot of fucking weight off your chest. That's what I did with Angelica, where I was like, look, I'm not looking for at least in our beginning of hanging out. I was like, look. I literally sent like the whole paragraph text. Like, I'm not looking for anything serious right now. I'm just looking for an adventure buddy, someone to do stuff casually with, and et cetera, et cetera. And she was like, sick, me too. Compared to playing like shadow games and being like, oh yeah, we could hang out, we could do this, we could do that, and then just like dipping or whatever.
Yeah.
I think if you set your intentions from the jump, it's even better for you because it takes one weight off your chest, and and for her, it shows her.
Lets her know like where I'm at. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that this person you seem to dig at least a little bit.
Person who are we talking about?
Who we met at the bar.
Oh yeah.
Hang out with her. Just be like, send her a text. Be like, hey, what are you doing later today? You know, even though it's kind of shitty out and you can only go on a hike. But like, actually, this might be some pretty decent hike weather depending on weather. But
maybe,
you know, like the bumblebee.
Yeah.
Bumble. No, I'm just kidding. But like, anyway, but like, I would say try to try to ditch the dating apps for a little bit,
because
they
just taking a break.
They fucking just
they suck your soul like
and then
nobody's
they
business.
just put in poison because they're like, oh, you're not really that attractive, or oh, you're not really that special.
No, like that's real, like that.
No,
I started catching myself like thinking that, and I'm just like, oh, dude, I gotta.
That's not the shit.
That's no. Like dead ass, like I started catching myself thinking those like negative thoughts. I'm just like, where I'm just like, where I'm just like, damn, what's wrong with me? Like, how come I can't find like a nice person?
Yeah.
And then as soon as I had that thought, immediately I was just like, dude, just take a break.
That's a fantastic fucking reaction. Too.
Yeah, no, I was just like, dude, it's like you're not. It's like it is what it is. Just take a break. You know, it's not the right mindset to have. Yeah, just do a little introspection, and then just come back with a new, better, fresher perspective, and then just go from there.
I would say still you should probably pursue. No, that's just me.
Pursue this car.
Pursue the car.
Yeah, I'm gonna take this car.
I'm gonna take that car.
No, I want to take this car with a skull on it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I would say pursue one person, and just hang out with her. And if the vibes don't match, then really go on your hiatus. But I would say try with this person.
It's just hard. Like, I get what you're saying. I get what the crow's saying too.
Yeah.
Believe me, I do.
He said, "Don't force him into it." Yeah, thanks.
But I was also because like what you're saying is very sound, and like I agree with it.
Yeah.
It's just I noticed for me, like, because I'll probably just come out and say it. Like, I'm what would be considered demisexual.
Yes, he is.
Where and if you're unfamiliar, it's basically like, you have to form a emotional connection with somebody before you can engage in like either romantically or sexually.
Yes.
Which, to be honest, like when I first learned that, and when you I think it was you that like and I'm just like
demisexual.
It very much like it very much just like a bell went off in my head where I'm just like, dude, this very much explains like my basically life experience up until this point, especially when it came to like dating and like sexual relations and stuff, where I'm just like, oh yeah, this explains like, because I was actually going back in like previous encounters and previous like experiences where I'm like, oh yeah, that very much lines up with this. I mean, I think it's like a form of asexuality, or it's like on the spectrum kind of thing, where. And I'm just like, and it's funny too, because also going back to Reddit, there's also a subreddit, the demisexuality subreddit, and like literally, like it's posts of like people either discovering that they are and just like talking about their experience, and like when I tell you, where I'm just like, I 1,000% relate to like every single person's, regardless of their orientation or gender, and I'm just like, yep, no, this lines up exactly of my experience.
Seriously.
So, and it's nice to have that, and at the same time, it's like, damn, what do I do now? Because literally, like, in order for me to feel romantic feelings for somebody, we have to be like close friends. Yeah, and that's really tough, and it's a lot to put on. Because you risk a lot when you do that. Yes,
your heart is truly on your shoulder when it comes to that shit.
Right.
So I would say just do what feels right, which is if I was demisexual, I would just focus on friendship then. Yeah. I would just focus on friendship. Be like, hey, I really dig your vibe. I would like to become better friends. What you doing later? And not like in a creepy way. What you doing later? I'm demisexual. Like whatever. What you doing later? I'm Demi Lovato.
I'm Demi Lovato.
I'm demolition.
I'm a demigod.
I'm a demigod. There you go.
There you go.
Damn. I'm a demigod. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, so no. You're definitely right, and it's just one of those things where I'm hoping that as I learn more about myself, especially when it comes to relationships, that I'm hoping that I can kind of navigate things a little bit better and not make the same pitfalls as I did in the past, and just hopefully I can just meet just cool people. Yeah. At this point, I think just the best approach right now is just to meet cool people. There you go. That's why, like, when we were hanging out Friday, I'm just like, it was like the best fun I had in like a while. I'm sure. Because I'm just like, I was like, hopefully I can do it more often. Or I'm just like, just go out to like, like like
bars and
shows and
like
dances and just like
But you also have to like put yourself, not to cut you off, but you have to put yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm more conscious of that now.
Aces.
Yeah.
I'm glad you came out. It was a really good time.
Yeah. No, dude, it was a fucking great time.
Yeah. House music, man.
Nah, you know me as like I can't say no to house music. Like I was literally like earlier in the night, I was just like I really wish I could, but it's like I got stuff to do. And then literally after you guys left, I'm just like, bro, what am I doing? It's like I can't say no, like, dude. I can't say no to the house. Like I can't disrespect the house.
You're still in your 20s, like, dude.
I know.
Yeah, you're gonna be dead year soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be dope. Anyway.
Do you want to end it there? Or do you have anything else you want?
I want to somehow circle it back to.
Past, is there one more thing you want to talk about?
I want to somehow circle it back to past, present, future to make two nice circles. With dating.
Okay.
The effects of your past tend to follow you into your present and hopefully do not present in your future. That's a good one. I'm gonna write that one down.
Yeah, write that down. Actually,
I'm gonna write that one down. That came from the dome. That came out my ass. And
nice.
Thank you. And I find that it is when you are upfront, because I try to be the most honest person that I can.
Same.
And I don't try to lie, like at all. Like, and honest and like I won't steal shit and I won't do shit like that because I'm just like karma will somehow fucking kick my ass.
It will.
With it. Yeah,
it definitely will.
Somehow fucking kick my ass.
It will
with
destroy
that
you.
Shit. Yeah. But to tie it back to past, present, future, and family and lineage, I feel as though we have a lot of time on this rock, providing death, God, or cigarettes does not kill us, or at least take us too soon. And I really, indeedy, do believe that, like, when it comes to partners and people that we meet in this life who have impact on us, not just a casual encounter, but people who have impact on us, I really do believe that they kind of come as a surprise, because I do also believe that the universe has a lot of shit going on.
Yeah,
I could get you a napkin. Yeah. That the universe has a lot of shit going on, but the one gift that father or mother or ambiguous universe can truly give us is love, and the second one is surprises. Because we can try to plan for this, that, and the other thing.
Yep.
And it may indeed happen. But I do indeed believe that when it comes to a surprise, a true surprise, whether it be birthday party or like someone just pulling up out of fucking nowhere, or meeting a person such as yourself, just out of nowhere, and then watching the relationship develop, I think it's best the people who have the most impact on our lives tend to come as a surprise.
For sure.
And I do feel like in some way, shape, or form, large or small, that may have happened that Friday night with the person. And I feel like potentially it is worth a pursuit, at least to kind of follow that up, to send a follow-up email, but ultimately it's your choice. I would say just in general, when the universe does gift you with something, or when the universe does gift you with a person or even an opportunity, it's your right to pursue it. You can ask and ask and ask and ask and ask, and the second you receive it, it can be tough because you may not see it as the opportunity that you wished for, but it could just be the opening of a door to that opportunity. To kind of bring it back to existentialism, like the mere fact that my parents met, the mere fact that your parents met, the mere fact that Jade's parents met, or the people across the street, or the fact that we're living here comfortably, generally comfortably, is a blessing in itself and a very big surprise. The fact that we live on Earth, and we can breathe air that's not going to burn us, and the fact that we have 100 years here, like if we're good and generous,
if we're lucky,
100 years, that's a surprise. That's a gift. And I think that for nihilism and for shit like that, for people to just be like, nothing matters, like, but not like nothing. There's nihilism where it's like nothing matters, and that's pretty cool. And there's nihilism like nothing matters. I think that it is your job to then make something matter, make something of yourself, and it doesn't have to be in the grand success of how others view you, which is often a trap, but make something of yourself to yourself. The best teacher and the best friend and the best person to you is always going to be you. Exactly. Because you are always rocking with you at the end of the day. You know, from the moment you were birthed, whether you remember or not, to the moment you die, whether you remember or not, the one person that always has your back and is always your back is you.
I'll say even in a universe or existence that, or whatever, where supposedly nothing matters, it's like, by default that's not true, because you matter.
You matter
because you're here.
Exactly.
You're alive.
You're conscious. You're able to do this shit. Like,
so even then, nihilism, it's like I get
I can get it.
I can get behind it, but
really?
I think
really sure?
in my opinion, I think it's from Jump Street. It's automatically flawed just for that simple.
I definitely do
fact.
believe so.
Yeah,
I definitely do believe so. You know, you can finagle it in a certain different ways, but I definitely do think that the core belief of nihilism is. And again, I'm not a fucking philosopher yet, but at least how I understand nihilism, I do agree with you. I think it's flawed. But on a lighter note, be present, be here.
Yes.
Be the present.
And if you're going through dating struggles like I am, just know that
you have time.
You have time. There's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah.
You can always improve, and just take it easy. Yeah.
Like I'm.
If you feel like you gotta take a break, trust me, take a break. Yeah.
Life is intense.
Because it is very draining, and it will affect your esteem, your self-image. So just if you feel like it's getting to that point, just take a break.
Take a break.
Yeah.
Hang out with Dueal. Listen to an episode of Dueal, man.
There you go. We have a whole series.
We do. We got 3 whole seasons. But yeah, like for dating, like I'm currently figuring out my sexuality as well. Like, you know, or my romantic sexuality, I guess.
Yeah.
I know I'm generally straight. I'm like 80% straight. But like
I think a lot of us are queer to a certain extent.
Yes,
like,
I definitely would consider myself queer.
Sexuality is a spectrum. Like you can like whoever you want.
Yeah.
And it's not, no one's ever entirely like hard cut, straight or hard cut.
You can try, but
you can try, but it'll come through eventually. Exactly. So yeah, and also just and there's this is a beautiful thing.
It is, man.
Yeah, because then it frees you up to be like, oh yeah, I can see whoever I want, date whoever I want. Yeah, so,
exactly.
Yeah, just own it.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. Like I'm trying to figure out if like I'm polyamorous, if I'm ethical non-monogamous, if there's some other third thing, like, because like in every relationship that I've been in, I've always kind of wanted to seek out other sexual partners, but like because of the
you and I are technically married, so
this is true. Yeah. You know, like I've always trying to seek out other sexual partners, and like I'm trying to like figure out like what the fuck is wrong with me. But another realization that I made in 2022 was like, damn, there really is nothing wrong with me. And to kind of circle it all back, like you are perfect in every single way. You are perfectly imperfect, and that's a beautiful thing to have. So do you want to with the crows being like,
and Jade, and just being like,
they're saying like,
it's time.
Yeah. They're literally saying like, and that has been the episode of Dueal. Shout out.
Yeah, that's very much been the episode. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for keeping existential with us. Thank you for keeping patient with us. Yes. We appreciate all of our viewers.
All 8 of you.
All 8 of you. Literally.
That'll be that. Which will expand into like hundreds very soon.
I fucking believe it.
We're gonna, if we can manifest patrons, like shout out to our patrons, Amy and Chelsea. Yeah, appreciate you guys.
Chelsea.
If we can manifest our patrons, we can manifest a large fan base of like hundreds of people, hundreds of cool, loving people that we're very appreciative of, and we from our past selves to our future large audience, we thank you.
Boom.
Really circle it back.
Look at that shit. Look at that shit. So this has been like relationships and existential thoughts.
It's existentially sexual.
Existentially. We already have that one.
Did we?
Yeah, we already have existentially sexual.
Okay, never mind. Yeah. We'll think of something else.
I know we had sexually stressed and existentially something. Anyway.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode
everyone.
Of Dueal. Shout out to the homies.
Shout out to the homies.
Shout out to I believe that the tiers are like Commander and Comrade. No, it's Comrade and Commander. Thank you to the Comrades.
Very Soviet.
I don't know why.
Very the Soviet tier, Union of you.
$20 is like Chief, so it's like okay, that kind of makes sense. Yeah, thank you to the Comrades, the Commanders, the homies. I think that we had a name for it, a name for the people who we're gonna call them, but like
The duets.
the duets.
Our duets.
Yeah, thank you for the duets. Thank you to the duets. More episodes soon, obviously. This has like been like one of the best things that has happened to me in 2022, let alone life.
Yes.
You know, the ability to communicate with a person and have like a
I
really
love us. Like, I actually look forward to like
I look forward to these as
every
well.
week where I'm just like, oh yeah, we get to
edit them.
Check in with Jordan, my best friend.
Hell yeah, man.
My husband.
My husband.
My wife. Yes.
I'm not your wife. I'm your husband, man.
You can't be both. I can be your wife.
Nah, I'm trying to think of like what I want to be. I'll be a bird. I'll be a crow.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
It's very romantic.
When I die, if I die before you, I'm just gonna be a crow that just follows you around.
Oh, I be like a Itachi. Where I'm just like,
boom, there you go, son.
Just manifest crows.
This is me. What's up? Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. We'll catch you on the next one.
Much love. Take care.
Deuces. Love you all.